What's going on, everybody? How is everybody doing today? We got Star Wars team leader Chris is in the chat. Lovely Tori is here today with us. We really didn't get to talk too much before the show, like we usually do. Some crazy things is happening, just life stuff in general. And I don't know where's CJ at.
CJ is still stuck in Ketchum.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, and my laptop doesn't have an Ethernet cable, so he couldn't even hardwire down into the office downstairs, and it's been a trip for him.
Yeah, it just sucks that they do that they make him work over during the week and work that late on a Wednesday, and especially when you already told him what's going on, Infected, what's going on, Clint. And I don't know what's going on with Garrison. I hope he's all right because he didn't even message me back when I messaged him earlier. So I don't know what's going on with him.
No, hopefully. And he hasn't even seen the message from in the group chat either.
Yeah, so I don't know what's going on with him. I hope he's okay.
So, here's the surprise for this episode. Garrison's going to show up as a Force ghost. It's fine. We're cool like that.
So this was a very interesting episode, but before we get too far into that, we got that intro, so let's drop that right now.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
At last we will reveal ourselves.
Oh, I have a bad feeling about this.
You are now tuned into Radio. If you only knew the power of gods.
Let's go.
You are now tuned into LightSaber Radio. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello there.
So, yes, this was a very interesting episode. I liked it, but I didn't at the same time.
So Chris brings up a point that I was actually going to talk about. He says all the Pokemon people on here. Did anyone see that it was a legendary Pokemon that they had used? I thought the exact same thing. As soon as it came onto the screen, my sister and my sister-in-law and my brother are at the house right now, and I was like, "Is that a fucking Pokemon? Is that a fucking is that a robotic Pokemon right now?"
Are you guys talking about the monster that was coming after him?
Yeah. So look up.
I thought that looked familiar.
Yeah,
I just didn't
it's
know
a legendary
I'm not really into
Pokemon.
Pokemon. So I didn't know what it was.
My son's Cass's middle name is it's Cassie and Ash and it's spelled the way of Ash Ketchum. So yeah, it straight up, I'm in the middle of folding laundry on my floor as I'm watching this, and I was like, wait, is that a fucking Pokemon?
Yeah, I did not know that. I did not know. I knew because my son, my youngest son, he watched it when he was younger. He watched Pokemon and stuff like that. So I remember seeing stuff, but I didn't know where I really got it. And I do agree with you on that. There's kind of like a Fifth Element vibe, but we all got to admit that it's definitely a straight shot at Indiana Jones.
It is.
It was
so
straight...
also there was I noticed it, and so did my sister-in-law. We're huge Disney fans, like the old Disney, and then Treasure Planet and all of that. So when they took the compass, I think it was, and they stuck it into the thing on the wall, that was straight out of Treasure Planet.
And then you have when she takes the thing out and it comes alive, that's the straight, you know what I'm saying? When Indiana Jones takes the thing off and then the rock comes rolling. I think that's what I liked about it.
I did too. It was fun. It was different. And it's really fun to see, these episodes, the past two ones have been shorter than all the other ones where they've been, 45 minutes. These ones are 28 minutes. And I think it's fun to see the small little adventures that the Bad Batch goes on in the off season of being the Bad Batch.
Well, we definitely know that it was a filler episode. I mean, there wasn't no question about that. It was a filler episode. But it was, I don't know, the last episode and this episode, they weren't spectacular. It wasn't nothing great about them or anything, but they were fun. They were just fun kid episodes. They made me feel like a kid. It just made me feel like a kid. And I think sometimes as Star Wars fans, we need that. Especially with, the stuff that's coming out lately. Andor was just serious, and which was great. I mean, I loved Andor. But sometimes we just need that little bit of fun in there just to remind you that, Star Wars is supposed to be about, having fun. That's what it's really supposed to be about.
And especially how Bad Batch is, it's right off of Clone Wars. It's its own little world off of Clone Wars. Clone Wars, we often forget about how Clone Wars was a kids show. And so Bad Batch is a kids show. Yeah, it has adult fans, but it's a kids show. And so to see the little changes in the short episodes, the filler episodes, as Kyle calls them, I like to, you see more progression in the characters in these small little shows. More character development, I think.
And you do, because they're really showing some of the, today, we got more of the character development of Phee, or however you say her name.
I think it's Phee.
You've seen her character development a little bit about who she really is, because we all assume she's just a pirate. That's kind of what they said, in episode 1 when we first met her. And Wanda Sykes is just awesome, man. I'm sorry.
You can never
Anybody
go
that
wrong
says
with
Wanda
Wanda.
Sykes ain't the shit. And when I was looking at her actual picture and then the picture of the character, they definitely made the character directly off of her. But I like the way that she said, she was like, what did she say? A liberator of objects, or a liberator of something, instead of a pirate.
She fancied up the term pirate.
Yeah. Basically, you're a freaking treasure hunting pirate.
You're a thief, Wanda.
I thought it was just really, really cool. I thought her character just made the episode fun. I see where her character is going, and I can see why the Bad Batch and why Omega is, because she's full of shit. They say it. She's done said this story 2 times and it's been different. You know what I'm saying?
Those two will believe everything.
But at the same time, she's happy. You know what I'm saying? She's all just upbeat and just, she puts the little character flair into her to the actual character, and it makes it fun.
I did look up, so she was telling that story at the end of the episode, and I was curious. I called CJ was, in his rough, and I was like, listen, I know you're at work. I need you to answer me this question though, about the kingdom of Elrys, whatever it was at the end. And he had no idea either. So I looked it up. This is a completely new thing. It's not in any of the legends. It's not in any of the lore. It's the writers created this little story and this sub kingdom that just happened.
I'm sorry. I text Garrison because he didn't answer back on the chat, so I figured I'd text him and see if he was okay. I think she gives that flair. She gives that what is it, the shit, the sugar turned into shit in this episode, because it started going bad. There goes Garrison right here. It starts getting really bad really quick, but she's still all happy, just so upbeat, it's gonna be all right, guys. Garrison.
Sorry, I was on my way home from work.
Oh, you're all right. You're
Unacceptable.
Cool. I'm here.
But it was just, it gave you that. She just gave you that excited feeling. She was like, "Oh, it's all right," and then her little wisecracks every time, especially when it comes to Tech. Because every time Tex says something, she's like, oh, it's going to be okay. Or Hunter, she's like, oh, it'll be fine. You know, it just made it real fun. Like the episode, like I said, the episode wasn't nothing to like write home about. It's not like, oh my God, this is the greatest episode ever. But at the same time, it was just fun. It gave you that, it made you feel like a kid. Like, oh man, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? So, that's what I liked about this episode and the last episode. It gave you a chance to be a kid again, just to be a kid and watch the episode. Because there was nothing really, that fucking monster thing was, if Palpatine ever got a hold of that fucking thing, boy, that shit would have been, that shit just wrecked that whole fucking planet.
Dude,
and then
for
the way
real,
it shot
just
the
drop
droid,
that somewhere.
that shit just blew up the droid. It was like it just killed anything moving. Like that was a very bad fucking.
That was a
thing.
great description. It was a very kid episode. I think the entire episode, the plot was just very like kid, and that could be good or bad. I mean, it
just didn't really have any like reference to, you know what I'm saying, like what's going on in the galaxy right now. It was like a completely off-string.
This story could have been in any TV show, and it wouldn't have changed a thing. Like, could have been Lego. Like this was just a very like kid story that they just, you know what I mean? Like we've seen it 1,000 times. This kind of story, like buried treasure. So it was a very kid story. I think that was a good way to put it.
It was like I was watching Fifth Element, Indiana Jones. Let's see, somebody else said something else in here. Tomb Raider, Star Wars. It was like all of them just mixed in. Pokemon, just everything mixed into one thing.
Treasure Planet.
Yeah, Treasure Planet has some Treasure Planet vibes. I think somebody else said something in here that had me, you know what I'm saying, that made me think something else. Because everything that everybody has really said, I really kind of feel like that. It was just fun. Like, dude, Fifth Element is like one of my favorite movies, but it's the most dumbest fucking movie ever. But it's because it's just fun to watch.
Which one's Fifth Element?
Fifth Element is the one with
Bruce Willis. I see dead
Bruce
people.
Willis. It has
I see dead people.
No. That's the Sixth Sense.
Oh, that is the Sixth Sense.
Yeah, that's right. Sixth Sense. It gave me that feeling too. Which one is
Kyle and I were on the same one.
The Fifth Element.
Mm-mm.
No, the Fifth Element is the one where it has Bruce Willis in it. It has Chris Tucker in it.
I was
has Chris Tucker in it. It has
yes, that's Fifth Element. That one's
it does have Bruce Willis in it. Gary Oldman.
It just was like Fifth Element. It was one of those movies like I'm just watching it like this is dumb, but it was fun. Like this is a really fun movie to watch. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just fun to watch, and every time it comes on, I watch it. And it's not really like when you think about like Bruce Willis, Chris Tucker. You know, it had Zeus in it. It had, it had all kind of people in there, and it was just like nonsense. Like, dude, this is just dumb. But it's fun. And every time it comes on, I'm sitting there watching it like,
right.
And that's how this was. It was like it really didn't make no sense, but at the same time, it was just fun to watch. It was like, and I'm sorry, I'm a big Wanda Sykes fan. She's hilarious in her comedy, and her character just fits her so well. Like they really made the whole. Yeah, they really made the character just directly after her.
Very different views of this episode.
Okay, Garrison, go ahead and break our hearts.
I'm not going to rate it high by no means because I think
I
would rather have something that had to do with
everything that Kyle loves about the episode. I was like, that was so fucking stupid.
It's not even that I loved it. It's like
the character. I was like, oh my gosh, she's so stupid. Like.
They just made her like she seems like one of them. She seems like one of them. She's like a bullshitter. That's really like when she's telling a story, but then she knows her shit. She's done some shit because she knows some shit. She was like, "This is where we're at," and they're like, "How do you know this?" You know what I'm saying? And she's like, "Dude, I've been on many things." So, you know what I'm saying? She kind of kind of gave you, it's kind of like the Mummy. You know what I'm saying?
I can see that. I did.
Like how
I can see
like
that.
the Mummy, how they're searching for artifacts, and like this dude don't know shit, but he's with the girl that knows some shit, and you know what I'm saying. Then they end up finding some shit, and then the shit almost tries to kill them, and it gave you that vibe. It was just fun. And the Mummy is terrible. All three of the Mummy movies was just terrible, but they were fun to watch. They were fun. This is the kind of episode that makes you like go back to your, you know what I'm saying, your like childhood. You know what I'm saying? It gets your imagination, going, you're thinking, and you're like, oh man, I remember that, Indiana Jones. Oh, I remember that in this. Or I remember they did something like that in this. And, it kind of gave it just got your mind working, and it just made it fun. Now, rating it, no. That's a different story. Because I would...
So
honestly,
you
I would
liked
much
it, but you're
rather
objectively
have
not going to rate
something that's compliant to the story. You know what I'm saying? Something that compels me to want to watch the next episode. More than just fun stuff. I mean, I enjoy fun stuff, but I want something that's going to like... Dude, there's 16 episodes in this season, and so far we've literally had 3 good episodes or decent episodes. Third episode was amazing. And then it went to 2, fun episodes, which is all right. I would rather have something that progressed the story. That's what I would really want.
Right.
Something more to progress the story. I'm sorry. Star Wars is a giant soap opera, and I want to know what's going to happen next. I don't want to just random stuff to be happening. Like, what does it have to do with the story? Like, I don't get it. I'd much rather have that.
No.
So it's not gonna be one of those. I'm not gonna rate this very high. I don't think I'm gonna rate. I think I had more fun watching last week's episode than I did this week's episode, and
I'd agree with that. Last week's episode was more entertaining.
But I am kind of excited to see where Wanda Sykes' character goes. Because there's a reason that they brought her in.
Yeah, I agree. I think she's going to have an impact. I think she might appear a little bit more often. It worries me about the direction of the show, maybe, but that's fine.
I'm personally excited for like as minuscule as it was, and it happened at the end of the episode. But I'm excited to find out like what the whole thing with with the kingdom of the Elrees, whatever the hell she said, where that's going. Like, because that's like I had said, like that's something that had never been in Star Wars lore ever. Like that's a brand new thing.
Well, even like today, this is brand new. That we ain't ever heard about none of the things that happened in this episode. So that could be something. And that could be a really good side episode. Another cartoon to come out like the Bad Batch, helping her look for buried treasures and lost treasures of the galaxy. That would be fun to watch because it would just be a fun show. You wouldn't expect much from that. It wouldn't be like the Bad Batch running from the Empire and helping the things and helping to get the Rebel Alliance going type shit. There's no expectations if you're just treasure hunting. It's kind of like, the Indiana Jones series. It just, it just jumps from one. They're looking for one thing, jumps to the next thing. Jumps to the next thing, jumps to the next thing, but they're all really, really fun and interesting to watch. I'm still, honestly, I'm super freaking excited for The Mandalorian. I just had to get that out. I was like holding on to it. I can't wait to see Mandalorian season 2. I want to see who comes through the door.
I still have to watch season 1.
You just finished watching season 1?
God damn it, Tori!
I still have to watch season 1.
Podcast.
I still have to. Okay, so here's my thing, and I hate it, but it's like something wrong with my brain. So if people constantly sit there and talk about it and be like, oh, this is this coolest new thing. This is the cool new thing. You need to watch it. It's the cool new thing. I immediately hate it. I immediately want nothing to do with it. So when season 1 of Mando came out, everybody was talking about it. And they're like, you're a huge Star Wars fan. You should watch it. You should watch it. And I'm like, let's not tell me what to do. Like, I already hate it because you're telling me to watch it. So that's, I've been hearing it from CJ. I hear it from CJ all the time. He's like, you need to sit down and watch Mando. And I was like, I've seen, like, when you were watching season 2, like, I saw season 2, I watched all of Boba Fett. Like, I'm caught up now. And he's like, no, you're not. No, you're not. You need to watch season 1. Okay,
Yes,
I get it. I get it.
Tori.
Okay, listen, I still got, like...
Force. You need to watch season 1. Tori, watch season 1 of Mandalorian.
Your Jedi mind tricks only work on the weak-minded.
You're with CJ. We know you ain't weak-minded. No, I'm just playing, CJ. You know I love you. Nah,
no, like that's so...
I know I just took us off a topic, but, you know, I had to get that out.
I do have to, it's on my list of things. I have a list of things that I have to watch. Like, there's bits and pieces of shows that I've caught and I haven't caught. So, like, I still need to watch the new season of Stranger Things, and I still need to watch the new I need to watch all of Jeffrey Dahmer because I haven't seen all of that. I've only seen like 2 episodes.
Bro,
and I fell asleep. I have not. I need to watch Doctor Strange so I can watch multi-universe or multiverse, because every time I've watched Doctor Strange, I've fallen asleep during it. Like, it's... My movie life is a mess right now.
I did that. Both of the movies that, you know, that they were both like, I watched them both, but I was kind of like, what the fuck is going on? Why is the buildings turning? What the fuck are they doing? What the hell is going on with this? Like, it just, like I don't know. It was just over the top to me.
So I promise.
Doctor Strange.
The Multiverse of Madness or something like that.
Never seen it. Never will.
Yeah, no. I'm a super huge Marvel fan, so everybody was like, you haven't seen Doctor Strange? And I was like, I keep falling asleep during it. I've tried watching it like 5 times. But I promise by the time that Mando 3 comes out, I will have watched Mando 1.
You literally got like 28 days to watch the whole season.
Okay, listen, I do absolutely nothing during the days right now except watch TV shows and take care of my house. So I have time.
You know who Phee is?
Phee?
Yeah,
Wanda Sykes.
Wanda Sykes' character is like Free
She's a pirate.
No, you know who but you know who she is?
No.
She is the Hondo Onaka of this series.
I dig it.
That's who this is. That's exactly who she is. She's Hondo.
Just the random bullshit character that just throws in these. Like, I don't know why we're doing this, but
like she is literally.
This needs a little bit of spice to it. We're gonna add another Honda.
If you think about it, pirate says off the wall shit, is full of shit, but gets them out of a lot of several fucking good little
sticky
things, helps them out a little
situations.
bit. Right. That's exactly what is going on with her. Like I can see that being her character.
So they're gonna have like a love-hate relationship with her, because if she's following the Honda, like it's gonna be a love-hate relationship with her.
J Dog said that we'll probably see
Hondo at one point again.
Or Honda, or however you want to say it.
Hondo.
Yeah, Hondo. Yeah, I don't know if we'll see him in Bad Batch, but
I think overall this episode, I think it was perfect for kids, who the target audience probably was. Like, probably nailed it for little kids, just because they don't care too much about the whole story. They're more just like, let's entertain me this episode. And it was a very simple little treasure. Yeah, it was perfect for kids. Like, that's what you want.
It made me feel like a kid.
For the older people, it was like, well, there's nothing going on plot-wise. So it's just like which scale do you rate it by? If you rate it for kids, like that was almost as good as it gets. But if you're rating it for like Star Wars fans who are older and looking for a little bit more like context and meat, then it was disappointing.
I mean, it did, but it didn't. So it didn't really continue the story.
I'm sorry.
It didn't really continue the storyline, but at the same time, like it added a new storyline for the new adults to kind of look into and be anxious for, because I know that I'm curious to see what the fuck is up with that thing. But yeah, it brought in, you know, Pokemon and all of that. So it did bring in, and especially people are going to talk about it, be like, yo, did you see that Star Wars brought Pokemon in? And then Pokemon fans are going to be like, no, hold up a second, wait, what? And so I think it was kind of their way into bringing other people in too, because we were talking about it before about how there was all of these little nods to other things. And in the beginning, when they were looking for the was it the hyperdrive they were looking for in the junkyard?
Was it a hyperdrive? No, it wasn't a hyperdrive. Was it a hyperdrive manifold?
I think so, because as soon as that happened, I was like, wait a second, that was what they were looking for the Falcon with like BB-8 and Finn and all of that. Like they were they had to fix the hyperdrive, which then again, the hyperdrive is always going off in the Falcon. But like it's just these subtle nods to not only the Star Wars universe, but all of these other little universes. Universes?
That's what I was just going to say, Chris. So Chris said they keep on mentioning that it was older than the Republic. So what if they are working on a Star Wars or origin storyline? And that's what I was just going to say. What if they're working, instead of, we all had this speculation that they're going to, you know, go join the rebels. What if they like literally turn into treasure hunters and that's what they go do, and that's how they never die.
No.
They never find out about none of that stuff because they become treasure hunters and they start looking for ancient relics of the old Republic and before the Republic and all that.
And then they find the Mask of Mandalore.
And then
that would be dope if they found the Mask of Mandalore.
So team leader was like, she brings Honda into the show and he brings the Rebels crew in.
Yeah.
Wasn't the Rebels like years after? Because Bad Batch is happening right after, like a couple years after Order 66 happened. Didn't Rebels happen like years after 66? Because all of the clones are extremely old. Well, not extremely old, but they're, you know, older. They're kind of.
Well, you got to remember too, at the very beginning of season 1 of Bad Batch is when they kill Kanan's master, and Kanan escapes. Hunter lets Kanan escape.
Yeah.
So Kanan's still a kid.
Yeah. So the two universes.
Rebels but they also, it seems like they were kind of leading towards that in the beginning of season 1, because we had Kanan, then we had Hera. You know what I'm saying? And they had the Hera episode. So it was almost like they were pointing in that direction that they were going to...
Which means that they would have to be planning for season 4 or 5 in order to catch up to the timeline of Rebels and the rest of the universe.
I mean, it ain't no telling what Dave and them will write. But at the same time, I don't think it's very likely. I think it'll be something different. But I do think that there will be an origin storyline for her character, for Wanda Sykes' character, because it would be fun. It would just be one of those fun type of episodes.
Kind of like how how Boba Fett did it with the Mando episode.
Yeah.
Just do it with Phee.
That would be dope, because Wanda Sykes, I love her comedy, and I enjoyed her in this episode. I enjoyed just the way she interacted with the crew. Like, you know, she would just tell Addison we said hi, Garrison, because we keep seeing you look over at her and stuff.
Oh, she just left actually, but
but nah, you know, I just think there's a lot of things that they can do, that they could off branch with a lot of the characters that is coming out. Because even going back to the Mandalorian trailer, we don't know who's in that other starship. Like, is it Sabine? There could be so many different characters that it could be. So it's kind of you know, oh man, what are they bringing in? And these are all characters that they can make offsets for, or different stories or origin stories for that character to see what happened. Because we know with Ahsoka, we know that we're getting Sabine in Ahsoka because they're looking for Ezra. So we're going to get to see all that stuff. So all these characters could definitely start popping up in different places, and they could have their own type of origin stories like they did with Kenobi. Because, yeah, we have Sabine in Rebels, but we don't know as much about her as I think there is to know about her. And I think that is like what happens with Kanan between now where he, Hunter let him go in the Bad Batch to where he meets Hera. Or we got all these different stories that they could tell within it. And they could tell it in animated and live action, which is cool. And I really appreciated that Ahsoka, the plot of Ahsoka is her and Sabine is looking for Ezra. Because we don't know that they died. We don't know what happened. They just him and Thrawn just shot off into space and it was done. We don't know, did they survive? Did they get to the back of the ship and get where there's air? Because the whole front of the ship was destroyed. We don't know exactly what happened. We just assume that they died. But now, if they're looking for them, we know that they're not dead. So what happened? That's the wonderful thing about it. We get to speculate and we get to come up with all these different theories, and then they bring out new characters, and we get a new Star Wars. As long as they do it good, and this is something we've been preaching since the very beginning of this show, as long as they do good stories and they do good things, they should get, Andor people to do a lot of them. I think Star Wars is making a turnaround from where it was at. I really do. And you can still have fun episodes. You can have fun episodes like that. Nobody's going to be mad at the world because of there's always some of them Star Wars fans that are just mad at the world because of it. But, I enjoy them. I enjoy that stuff that makes me feel like a kid again. And I know kids enjoy it. So if I enjoy it a little bit, kids is really going to enjoy it. Because, in all reality, I'm just a big-ass kid when it comes to Star Wars. I just like Star Wars. So anything that has to do with Star Wars, I'm going to watch it, except if it's just really, really bad. Book of Boba Fett. No. But, yeah, I think that they could definitely do a character with her and make it like an Indiana Jones type, treasure planet type of cartoon, and it would be good. It would be fun to watch her trying to find these different relics. And if one of the Bad Batch or several of the Bad Batch was there, that would even be more cool. I could see like her and Wrecker hooking up though. I don't know why I could just see her and Wrecker getting together
for like a night. I think they would kill each other if it was longer than that.
Nah, because Wrecker's just kind of like, and then she's kind of like, I think she could get him to, be her little boo thing.
Wait, Wrecker could get who?
And get Phee.
Maybe.
Like they could hook up. I could see that happening. Yeah, I know she likes Tech, but I could see her and Wrecker hooking up. I don't see Tech hooking up with nobody. Tech is like, how is this going to benefit the
Tech is more
galaxy.
Meticulous in his thinking.
He
He doesn't think about himself or his. Listen, she can flirt with him, Clinton, but it doesn't mean Tech is gonna be like, "Oh, hey, I see you." Like, if he does flirt back, it's probably gonna be like something super nerdy, like how atoms form together and create the greater good type thing, and she's gonna be like, "Why are you teaching me about science right now, dude?"
Plus, the problem that I have there is like, you see how she does her droids. Tech's not gonna go for that. Tech's gonna be like, "What? All your droids get killed." You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to get killed. Clinton says, "Just saying, Sheldon gets a girlfriend." Yeah, that's true.
After like 10 seasons.
But yeah, it's I don't know. It just was fun. So, what y'all rate it? What y'all think? Okay, first off, what was y'all's favorite moment of the show? I want to know that.
Geez,
When
it ended?
When it ended.
Well, aren't you just a big bag of sunshine today, Garrison?
I'm in a good mood today. What are you talking about? I've been nice.
What was your story?
Let's see. I really, my favorite part. So honestly, just the Pokemon part. Honestly, the whole the fact that I can't get over that. I looked at my sister-in-law and I was like, that's a fucking Pokemon. And so I like that, and like the whole like robot thing, that the Pokemon robot, and I love the fact that they opened up to a new storyline at the end with this whole new kingdom of whatever, I can't remember the name, but like that's what I like though, is I like the lore behind things, and I like the history behind things. I'm a huge history buff. So that's what I look for in shows, is that they're following the history line, that they're following X, Y, and Z, even in movies where, okay, this is happening in this time period. This would not happen at that time period, but you know, whatever. I liked that. I'm excited to see where they go with that.
Star Wars team leader stole mine. That's the one I liked. That droid was really trying to get away.
And I liked how the droid. Dude, when I saw that scene, every intention of me was like, somehow the droid's gonna get saved. Somehow the droid's gonna get saved. But the fact that the droid actually got destroyed, I was like, all right, okay.
I was trying not to focus on that, okay? I love my droids.
Dude, I was actually kind of happy the droid got killed, because I was like, all right, they didn't do some bullshit plot armor. That wasn't bad.
Like, I think.
Okay, wait a minute,
Tori,
hold on.
but-
Clint says, I hated how they went for the thing, and then it started up, but breaks down at the end, but they don't take the treasure. It melts.
The treasure melted, which
it
made
melted.
no sense. Why would it melt?
Like it melted for some reason. I think it melted because when they stopped it, it was in the middle of firing. So like all that energy surged back into it, and it just melted
That makes
it.
sense.
That's how I took it.
No. Okay, I'm gonna go to show you like the droid thing. So in Obi-Wan, when he was like the droid with the hammer, I can't think his name, the droid with the hammer, they were in the fucking tunnel, and I was like, this droid better not fucking die. This one better not. Like, CJ's next to me, and he's like, will you stop with the damn droids? And I was like, he better not fucking die. Like, I will jump through the screen, I'll fight everybody, I'll take out Vader myself. Like, the droid better not fucking die.
The droid died.
I know.
They shot the shit out of that damn droid.
I was so pissed.
But yeah, all right. So what's y'all's ratings?
I wouldn't rate it super low, but I also wouldn't rate it super high, because it was fun, but it wasn't like the Bad Batch storyline. So like maybe a solid like 6.5, maybe 6.5.
Yeah, I'm going 6. It was fun, but it
Very
just
very generous from both
Oh,
of you.
here we go. He's gonna give it a 2 or 3.
Fuck. Let me put my feet up.
No, 3. I already wrote it down. I put it at 3.
Yeah,
I just
gave
thought
it
it
a
was
6.
kind of a waste of time.
I gave it a 6. I thought it was fun. I thought it was a fun episode. It was interesting. I liked Wanda Sykes' character. I liked, there were some things that I liked, but I would like it more to stay to the storyline of what's really happening in the universe and right now with the Empire, and I want to see more Crosshair. I think they need to bring more Crosshair into like every episode. Crosshair need to be in every episode. I miss Crosshair already, and it's only been 2 episodes since he's been in here.
I mean, that also just brings it back for like a bigger Crosshair
bring it back.
revival, though. Like a bigger reveal. I mean, not a revival, but like a bigger reveal of, okay, so where the hell is Crosshair?
Okay. So, real quick.
So
Before
2,
we
and then
move
Kyle,
on.
what'd you say?
I said a 6.
6. And then Tori.
I did
6.5?
6.5, yeah.
Okay.
Lenny said 7. Infected said 6. Let's see. Chris said
Just pick up
6.5. Star Wars team leader said 5.5. Clint said 5. Yeah, so we all about the same on this.
Yeah.
It was just a fun episode. It just didn't
was.
really have any freaking meaning. It was just kind of pointless. But before we jump into news and rumors, I want to talk a little bit about Mandalorian. Because like I said earlier,
Okay.
I'm super excited
You're
about it.
excited
This
for
weekend.
Mandalorian. When does it come
I
out?
think that,
This weekend.
no, it don't come out this. It comes out
Wait,
March.
when does it come out?
Yeah, March.
Comes out in March.
Why are we talking
March
about it
1st.
already?
No, because I think this weekend I have an idea, and I want to get everybody's feedback on this.
Oh no.
What if I want to do an episode, and I want to talk about what we think is going to happen when those doors open up. I think that's a very good topic that we should talk about. When the doors open up, is it going to be Anakin on the other side? Is it going to be a Mandalorian? That's why Grogu is like not scared of the Mandalorians.
Wait, which doors?
The
doors from
open up
the
in Jedi
trailer.
Temple. Remember in the
Oh,
in the
yeah,
trailer?
with the Jedi. Yeah. Okay.
And they're all standing there, and the doors is going to open up. So what do y'all
Anakin
think
with
about
clothes.
if we do an
100%.
episode this weekend and we really dig down deep and find out more information about that, and then give our thoughts on what we think is going to happen when these doors open up? I think it's going to be Anakin, but
I think it's Anakin with the 5-0 first, 100%.
But I also think that I want to find out, like, what do you think is going to happen? Well, that's what we're going to do the episode on this weekend.
Predictions.
Is that a good
Okay,
idea to
yeah.
do the episode? You guys
can
think
do it,
that's
yeah.
a good idea? Chat. Like, did we just do a whole episode giving our ideas and speculations on what's going to happen when those doors open up?
Hey, there's CJ. It's the temple. Well, that's obvious.
I mean, we kind of. Is there somebody coming through the door to rescue him, and the other Jedi are there to protect him? Why are there 4 Jedi there protecting him when these doors is opening? What are they doing? Like, it really takes 4 Jedi Knights or Masters to protect this youngling? Why are they protecting him? What is making Grogu so important that, like, there's literally 4 Jedis sitting there protecting this? Is he Yoda's son? Like, I want to.
Well,
like,
because
really
nobody knows where Yoda came from, so they're gonna protect like the small creature that looks exactly like him.
And you got to remember, so Grogu is 50 in the Mandalorian, in the beginning of the Mandalorian. So if he's 50 years old, then that happened roughly 20, 25 years before then. So he's like 20, maybe 25. So he's like really an infant, because now he's just a toddler at 50. So what's so important? I want to just speculate on, just have like a whole episode that we just speculate on all the different things that it could possibly be, that could possibly happen. What's behind those doors? Why is Grogu so important? What information can we find about what makes Grogu so important? What have we learned from the Mandalorian? Which kind of sucks for you, Tori, because you haven't watched season 1 yet.
Okay, listen, guys, I'm trying. Okay, I've been good. I've been keeping up with everything else that's come out. It's the one thing. It's the one thing I haven't watched. Okay.
But I thought that would be a good episode to do. What do y'all think?
Yeah, I'm so down.
Yeah, I think that'll be a good
So
topic to talk about.
It's Merc City. Jeez.
Okay. Now y'all are going to get an exclusive. The first drop of the new news and rumors thing. I created it.
Oh, yes. Are you?
And this is going to be the first drop for the new news and rumors thing, because the other one sucked. I don't know if it sucked. I just got tired of it or something, because every time I seen it, just irritated.
News and rumors.
So we're going to watch the new one to set off. This is an exclusive. First time y'all ever going to get to see this. All right, let's do it.
This is Alton Castle for the only news you need, the HoloNet News.
But
Okay,
I like
did
the
y'all see the whole
hyperspeed.
thing?
I like the hyperspeed
Yeah.
part.
Like, my shit is like messing up, because like they just all messed up. I'm like, dude, I hope everybody else doesn't see it like that, because this shit is messing up like a mug.
I like how it sounds like the 1950s newscast,
Y'all like that one better
like the radio newscast.
than
No,
the
this
old
one. I like this
old-
one better.
Yeah,
I
the
do
other
too.
one was just annoying. I didn't like the other one. I was like,
The
I gotta get rid
HoloNet
of this thing.
news and
And
rumors.
rumors.
I didn't think it was bad.
I enjoyed lip syncing to it when it was playing across the screen and mic was off. I just HoloNet news and rumors.
I made the other one in like 30 minutes before episode. I was like, oh God, we need a news and rumor thing, and I just created that shit hella quick. I was like, I didn't even take really no
did
time.
its
This
job.
I took some time and I thought it out, and I searched online. I found some different clips off of the different TV shows, the Clone Wars and stuff, and I tried the different ones, and I got it, and I was like, I like this. This is, and it's actually the news. They actually say that in Star Wars. It's in Rebels. So I was like, and he's actually a character in Star Wars. He's actually the reporter for the holonet news in Star Wars. So I was like, oh, that's cool. That's different. Makes it better. Okay, so what we got for some news and rumors today?
I got nothing.
Garrison, my sister-in-law, says she wants the painting behind your head.
Oh,
The bull.
The Highlander.
yep. We got a thing. Yeah, we got that one. Then when there's like a cow skull. There's a
Yeah, and then there's the
kangaroo skin.
kangaroo skin on the
Yeah.
other side.
I love it. I love it.
Wow. No, I
Star Wars Celebration 2023 announced the first wave of actors to appear.
All right, so who do we got?
Anthony Daniels,
Of course.
so 3PO, Ashley Eckstein,
Ooh,
Matt Lanter,
Matt Lanner.
D. Bradley Baker. I can never say his name, but Moff Gideon. Vivian Laura Blair, so young Princess Leia. The
We're getting a Kenobi season 2.
Indira.
No, we're not.
I can never say her name. Varma, so the actress who played Tala in Kenobi.
Oh
We're
no.
getting
We probably are.
Yeah, we're getting an Obi-Wan Kenobi season 2.
But that's about it. It is likely that the cast of Andor will also appear. Not just because the show's popularity, but because it is set for the second season.
Well, and that's not a bad thing, because I think that we really need to get a season 2 of Mandalorian, so they can explain to us how Princess Leia does not remember Obi-Wan Kenobi. Something has to happen for them to explain that to us, because every fan has said the same thing, like, what? They never even met before. And then this happened. So I think that this is that they got to do a season 2. They have to do a season 2 to explain things, what happens. And I think that they need to explain, why Vader goes and why Vader stops going after Kenobi, and how Kenobi's able to disappear, like completely disappear, because Vader knows he's not dead at this point. So, and we kind of got that a little bit at the end when Palpatine tells Vader to stop with this obsession to find Kenobi. But what happens? What more happens? I would like to know what happens with Reva. You know what I'm saying? What happens with her? Because she wasn't dead. Vader didn't kill her. He stabbed her, but she was still alive. So I would kind of want to see what happens, you know what I'm saying, with that. And we seen where she showed up. Because she didn't die even with Kenobi, did she? At the end when she's chasing down Luke, we don't see her die.
Mm-mm.
So I would like to know what happens with her. I think that would be a something cool to, just something to find out more information on.
Daisy Ridley made a comment about defending Rey's decision to go by Skywalker, and she kind of blamed it on JJ. Yeah.
I would do that too. Everybody hated it. Oh, it wasn't my choice. I didn't do it.
Well, J.J. Abrams was the one who was like, she is of no one. So it wasn't just The Last Jedi where that was the message. What was interesting about the last one for me was that you can be a hero and not come from anywhere, or you can be a hero and come from literally the worst person in the universe. You're not your parents, you're not your grandparents, you're not your bloodline, and you're not the generations before you. So I was always like, sure, but it's beyond my pay grade. I say the words, do the thing. I do love the version of you can be anyone you want to be, but I also love the version where you can rectify wrongs and can't help what you're born into. The Last Jedi is full of surprises and subversion and all sorts of bold choices. On the other hand, it's a bit of a meta approach to the story. I don't think that the people go to Star Wars to be told, this doesn't matter. The Last Jedi was a story I think needed a pendulum swing in one direction in order to swing the other.
Yeah, I don't like at this point. The character D should just disappear. So I don't care what last name she uses at this point, as long as she don't ever come back, and as long as they get rid of the sequel trilogy. There was a thing. I guess Emily Clark spoke with IndieWire about returning to Star Wars, and she said that she would be happy to come back. She was like, it would be lovely that we would. And be very nice. But she's generally having a wicked time on Marvel Studios miniseries Secret Invasion, because it's absolutely brilliant. But she said she would come back to do the role, but she doesn't see it happening anytime soon.
Ewan McGregor reunites Obi-Wan Kenobi season 2 hopes with new comments that he made.
They're coming out with a season 2.
Oh yeah, they are.
Everybody's showing up at Celebration. Yeah, they're coming out with a season 2. Now, if they explain like what happens like after that mess of Kenobi, I think that there's some things that I want to know. So I wouldn't be too mad about them coming out. I would watch it just because I want to know what's going to happen. So,
I do have a small amount of toys.
Yeah, we always want to hear about.
There is a new Black Series wave at Target. It has Darth Maul, a Grogu, a Leia Sakura, Axe Woves, Grief Karga, the Grand Inquisitor, and if the damn thing will go away so I can move over. And then also Migs Mayfield. And then so Hasbro actually made a surprise drop without saying what it was. How they worded it was enlist in a reminder for this awesome new batch of action figures from Hasbro. And how they did it, it's supposed to drop February 14th. How they did it, everybody is thinking that there is going to be a new Bad Batch. And so that's most likely going to be another vintage collection, and it's going to be the Bad Batch vintage collection.
One of the things, and it can't. I talked about it on the Sway podcast. I brought up the little thing, but Skeleton Crew has wrapped up shooting on that. It was actually released by one of the stunt performers and the head stunt coordinator. They posted on Instagram that the head coordinator posted on Instagram stories, congratulating everybody on the wrap. So that series is done, and it is supposed to be released this year. So, which is kind of cool.
Team leader, it's not just your Target. It's Target, Walmart, everywhere here is wiped out on everything except Lando's. It seems nobody ever wants Lando.
Even Walmart. I got 2 of them. I bought 2 of them because when I first seen the Lando's, I grabbed them. And I don't even buy a lot of toys, but I grabbed 2 of them. Now it's like every Walmart that I go to is just Lando there. It's like, dude, what? I can't even. Just Lando everywhere.
that CJ has his collections of his action figures that he collects, and so he collects them by batches. So like he did the Bad Batch, and now he's trying to find the small little Boba Fett's that he's missing. And I actually have a list on my phone of all of the ones that he needs. He needs like 2 more Hans, and he only has 1 Lando, and there's 3 Lando action figures that have been like various action figures have been created. He only has 1, and he sat there and we're going through the stores, and I was like, will you just buy the damn Landos so that you don't have to worry about them? Because when you focus on Lando, they're gonna be gone. But yeah, there's Landos everywhere. If you're a Lando fan, hey, good for you. Like, time to buy toys.
I guess there was Star Wars, the Acolyte. Amanda Steinway has long been passionate supporter of the series despite the familiarities and material and their career already having include wide varieties of stories. I guess that they're bringing something out. Let me see. I'm trying to read through this. Some technical craftsmanships to make Star Wars something that you've never seen before. So I guess they're doing some, which I know they're using practical sets because they're not at the big place. They're over in Europe recording it. But it's going to be more sinister than anybody has anticipated. So it says a former Padawan reunites with a Jedi Master to investigate the series of crimes, but the forces they confront are more sinister than anyone has ever anticipated. That's kind of been stated, but I guess they're using some technologies that we haven't ever seen before. So that would be kind of, that would be kind of cool to see if they could do something that we haven't seen before in the visual effects. And I know that Star Wars that's like one of the big things about George Lucas trying to do something that never has been done before, which I'm like, dude, how much more shit can you create? Like, y'all created like 90.
So, Heroes and Villains has new Star Wars apparel out, and this is more humorous than anything. So Nicolas Cage, somebody asked Nicolas Cage about him re-teaming up with Pedro Pascal in The Mandalorian. And in this interview, he said that he has no interest in joining him in The Mandalorian because he isn't a big fan of Star Wars, but he prefers the fellow sci-fi franchise Star Trek.
A terrible person. That's okay. No, I'm just kidding.
So I guess Disney has said no to a Solo part 2, but Adrian or Alden Enrich, however you say his name, has been making some comments that that he is more than willing to step back into the role. The actor is still delighted fans by showing off some cool props that he kept from the set. And he said he wants to come back. And then Jonathan Caston, who wrote alongside of his father, said that he would be more than happy to come back and do the show or do a part 2 because there were some things that he wanted to fix about part 1. So, but I guess from what this is saying, and this is comic books, so you can't always, off of comicbooks.com, you can't always go, but they are saying that basically Disney and Lucasfilms has said no, that they're not going to do another one. But we'll have to see because, they lie all the damn time, too. They'll be like, no, this ain't coming out. And then 3 months later, you got a damn new movie. Like, how the hell did you just said no, you lying motherfucker.
Screen Rant actually has, so apparently they touched on a huge topic that's been going on, a discussion that I've seen on Reddit and stuff like that, that comparing Ahsoka to Mandalorian. So Ahsoka will do for Rebels what Mando did for the Clone Wars.
What?
The Mandalorian did a great deal to enhance the Clone Wars and brought it all into the Star Wars franchise, and Ahsoka will do the same thing for Rebels.
Oh, that would be cool. I mean, I wouldn't mind. Well, the Clone Wars was already good.
Clone Wars, yeah, that's true.
It was, but they're saying that it enhanced the Clone Wars and brought like the small little, I guess, bits and pieces that were confusing, I guess, in Clone Wars. And tied it all in together. I don't know, but
Okay.
there's a huge kind of discussion about how Mando kind of tied everything in together into the Clone Wars, and they're saying that Ahsoka will do the same thing for Rebels. It'll tie everything in together.
Because Ahsoka,
basically.
the whole object is for them to find Ezra.
Ezra.
So it would have to like fit with Rebels. Like it would have to. It's going to enhance Rebels because it's just a continuation of the story.
Yeah.
Whenever you continue the story, of course it gets better. But I don't know how like Mandalorian continues so much with the Clone Wars. When it comes after Return of the Jedi, Clone Wars is back in between in the prequel time period. So like I don't get how that enhanced the Clone Wars. Like I mean I know they brought up some points that had to do with the Clone Wars, but like it didn't really do that much to enhance the Clone Wars. I don't know.
I don't know. It was just I've seen it on Reddit a couple times of people kind of discussing it back and forth and saying, no, Ahsoka is its own show, and then other people are like, no, it directly ties into Rebels, and so there's a huge
Well, you got Ahsoka, you got Sabine, and they're looking for Ezra. So all of this has to do with Rebels. So I can see it enhancing Rebels, but I don't see where Mandalorian helped the Clone Wars or enhanced the Clone Wars. Like this happens, freaking what? Clone Wars, this is like 30 years after the Clone Wars. You know what I'm saying? So like how did it enhance the Clone Wars? Like if anything, it enhanced Mandalorian lore, because we got the LightSaber. If anything, it enhanced everything.
All the
that happened
Mandalore
after
story arcs.
Return of the Jedi.
I can see the Mandalore story arcs. That's true.
I don't see. Oh, well, yeah, maybe some of the Mandalorian story arcs because, well, even with Maul because of the LightSaber, but I don't think them was all good. I don't know how you can enhance that. That all the Mandalorian story arcs within the Clone Wars was good story arcs. I mean, it finished the Clone Wars. It went right up to Order 66.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't see all them episodes were great. Them was like dope ass episodes. So I don't see where it enhanced it. Like, I don't know. Some people just be saying random shit. Like, did you even watch Clone Wars? Have you watched Mandalorian? Like, dude, it's like, did you watch this shit before you just wrote an article about it? You can't just use, Chat GTP or GPT or whatever it is and just create a freaking thing and then not fact check that shit or not be a fan. It just doesn't work out.
Speaking of Clone Wars, if you have, $50,000 to spend on hot toys, there is a new Obi-Wan Kenobi hot toy, and it is based on his look off of the Clone Wars. So we get Clone Wars Obi-Wan in a hot toy.
Clone Wars Obi-Wan?
Clone Wars Obi-Wan.
That's when Obi-Wan
Like
had
the outfit and everything.
Yeah, he had the
So it has the Jedi Order logo on the shoulder armor, and it's just a realistic Obi-Wan, not the cartoon, obviously.
So let's look at some. Okay, so it says only Black Series my target carries is the Lando. That's what Star Wars team leader said. Lenny said, LOL, Star Wars team leader. Kyle Walmart is like, somebody bought two. Better order another 1,000 units. True. The Star Wars team leader said, I got the Is that Bo-Katan? What was that supposed to say? Bo-Katan?
Bo-Katan helmet the other day.
I'm assuming Bo-Katan.
Helmet the other day because the Target in the mall that closed because of COVID last year opened up their online shipping from store. Been getting stuff that nobody else has from last year. That's cool.
Yeah, it is.
Chris says maybe they are referring to the Mandalorian story arc and Ahsoka part in season 7. I could see that, but I don't know how it enhances it. You know, that doesn't make sense. They were good. Like, how are you going to enhance something that's great? You know what I'm saying? you took it from an 8 to a 9. Like, you didn't make a big difference. They have to finish the story. If they didn't, I'll go mad. Like, if Ahsoka doesn't fix that ending, I don't know. That's much better than automatically correcting LOL. Chris, I mean, up until Clone Wars, we really didn't know much about the Mandalorian. Then when Death Watch and Darksaber and these Spartan-like warriors is how I can see Mandalorian enhancing the Clone Wars. I can see that.
I
Chris.
could.
I can see that.
Yeah, I can see that.
Just delving or diving more into who the Mandalorian are.
But I mean, well, I think one of the things, it kind of showed more of the different sects of the Mandalorians. Like the different, because, you know, like Mandalorian's little cult, not sex, mother.
Calm down, Garrison.
But they didn't really, you know what I'm saying? Like, we learned a little bit about it in Clone Wars, but now we're learning a lot more about how crucial it is. Like how each of the cults within the Mandalorians are how they are. Because if you think about it, you know, like, he removes his helmet, now he got to go on this freaking quest to get back his rights to be a Mandalorian. Like, dude, who cares? Just be with other Mandalorians.
Which not even at that point. Like, I've fought over. I don't think that he might go there with the intention of trying to find or to regain the sense of Mandalorianhood that the Death Watch or the Children of the Watch have, like, drilled into him. But Bo-Katan even came out and was like, no, that's not a thing. You don't need to keep your helmet on. That's not a thing. So I wonder if him going into Mandalore and doing everything that, you know, it was instilled in him that he needed to do to get his right back is just going to change him and be like, you know what? This is all bullshit.
Well, my thought process is this. Dude, you're like the leader of the Mandalorians right now. You have the Darksaber. Why the hell do you got to listen to what this cultist mindset that this certain
this
sect...
Mandalorian
My thing is,
says.
99.9% of the time, you're off by yourself anyways. Who cares what these people think of you?
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
you know,
yeah,
it's not like...
what is the point? It's not like you go to see them every day. Yeah.
And I understand that the armorer is dope. You know, she creates the dopest shit. Whenever you get Beskar, she's going to make you some dope shit. But at the same time, it's like, dude, you're her boss. You are, right now, you are the leader of the Mandalorians as long as the Mask of Mandalore has not found. So, lest they find him, and it'd be crazy if he found the mask, too. So now he got the mask and the Darksaber. He's like the super leader. Because we don't know what's going to happen in Season 3.
I am your god.
Like, dude... Then he basically tells all them, man, you're going to get rid of this. And they have no choice but to fall. All sects must follow the Mandalore. It's like in their code of Mandalorian, they all have to follow it. They don't necessarily have to follow whoever has the Darksaber. But really at this point, he is the leader of the Mandalorians. So they don't have to follow that. You know, they can do their own thing. But if he tells them to go to war, they have to go to war. But once he finds that mask, they have to do everything he says. If he finds the mask, if that's something that possibly could happen within this season, we don't know until we see the season.
Team bonding right now. Everybody's helmets are coming off.
So when he gets there, my thing is this: he's going to go to Mandalore. He's going to beat all these other Mandalorians. They're going to follow him because he got the Darksaber. So basically, he can be, and that's even if they even follow the lore of the Mask of Mandalore, because that's all technically legend stuff. It's not canon. Which
But they've
a
been
lot
pulling
of the Mandalorian stuff is not canon.
Except we've been watching them pull from Legends and putting them into canon. We've been watching it for, the 3 movies, as terrible as they were, and the new shows that are coming out. Like, there is stuff coming from Legends that they're looking at and going like, yo, that sounds good. Let's put it into the movie and making it canon.
Well,
so I mean, I could see them doing that.
So, but I mean, they could just leave it as whoever has the Darksaber is the leader of the Mandalorians, period. It's still, he has it. Unless somebody defeats him in battle, then he is the leader of the Mandalorians. So at this point, like, why is he going to even do that? Like, no, I don't have to go do that. I'm telling you what you're going to do. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to listen to what y'all do. So I don't know if it's going to be something that he finds. Do you think the Darksaber will lead to a free-for-all power grab for all these Mandalorians, where everyone will challenge Den?
Maybe.
Den for it. I can see people challenging him for it, but I think after he whoops a couple of them, then they're like, all right, he's like the real strong dude.
I mean, at that point, though, he also has to learn to work with it, not against it, like the armor was saying.
I would still love for him to show up somewhere that he's force sensitive, and he's like really the dude. He's like the Mandalorian Jedi, and Grogu teaches him how to use the Force or something. You know what I'm saying? Like some weird shit like that. That shit would be awesome to me. I would love to see, because then we would really get into the lore of why the Darksaber is important, because then he could really research, and we might find that in this season. Like, we don't know what's going to happen in this season. He goes back to Mandalore, he might find out that there was this Mandalorian Jedi, and then, you know what I'm saying, and he starts being able, why he's so good at fighting, why he can sense certain things, they could go any way. What if he finds out that he is force sensitive, and then he goes to Luke to teach him how to be a Jedi Mandalorian?
Oh my gosh. Oh my god!
So,
him and Grogu being, I could see that. That actually probably will happen, knowing Disney.
So Lenny was
sounds like it.
Lenny was thinking along the same lines I was when Kyle was talking about how, he doesn't need to go and do the thing, but he's like a religious knight, and he goes to his priest, the armorer, to atone his sin, and he needs to be blessed in Zion, Mandalore. So that's kind of where I was going with that was, like, when you're raised in this religion, this cult, this whatever, like, it doesn't matter if you become head of this cult, you still have the doctrine that you've had put in you. And so it's still like this whole like second nature type thing. So even if you are in control of said cult, because Children of the Watch is a cult, but it's still that step that they feel needs to be taken. So I mean, I could see that. That's kind of where I was going when Kyle was explaining his thought process.
I mean, and the crazy thing is, we don't know where the story. We kind of knew, because in the beginning in the first part and in the second part, it's all about getting getting Grogu to his people. He's trying to find the Jedi. We had a storyline. Then once we get the Book of Boba Fett, and Grogu leaves the Jedi and comes back to, we don't have nothing to go on what's going to happen. The only thing we know is he's going back to Mandalore to try to redeem himself. That's the only real information we got. We know we're going to get some back stuff for Grogu and the Jedi Temple, some flashbacks and stuff like that. We don't know what's going to cause those or what trauma this kid has went through, because you got to think, man, it's been years. We know somebody had to take care of him for this time. Somebody had to have him. He wasn't just stuck in that building as we seen in the beginning of season 1. He wasn't just stuck in this building and just, he would just been there in his little floating baby carriage, for 30 years. Some other stuff had to happen. So I think that they're going to show us a little bit of flashbacks that has to do with that. But other than that, we don't really know anything about what's going to happen in this season, which is kind of cool, because I'm excited to see it, because I want to know what's going to happen. All we do know for a fact is that the Den is going back to Mandalore, and we're getting flashbacks of the stuff that happened to Grogu. Other than exactly what's going to happen within that point, it's completely open, and anything could happen at this point, which is fun, because that means that we get to sit back and, try to figure out and come up with our speculations. And of course, next month we'll probably get 2 more trailers, at least one more.
And then it opens Kyle and Garrison to getting pissed off about it because it's not what they wanted.
Every day.
Every time something is talked about, Garrison's like, this is what's going to happen. And I think this is going to happen. And then it doesn't happen. And he's like, I hate it. I hate it. I don't want to watch any more of it. I hate it. It's a 3. It's a 0. I hate it.
Well, Andor was fantastic. Andor was great. I like Andor.
Chris says, I don't think Din is force sensitive. It would hurt the story. I think he needs to be the strong warrior he is. Star Wars team leader said, first one going to challenge him, and Grogu's going to throw him up against the wall. I could see that happening. I could definitely see that happening. Then Lindy said, King Arthur plus Star Wars equals the Mandalorian. Lindy, and then he laughed.
Yeah.
Like, we just really don't know. We don't have no idea of what's going to happen within this story. And that's cool with me. I like not knowing. I don't want to know. I want to be surprised. I'm just hoping that it's good. I hope they didn't come in and ruin the Mandalorian. Like, don't ruin the Mandalorian. Don't, like, you can fuck up other shit. I don't care. Andor and the Mandalorian, don't fuck that up. Like, them is, like, my 2 favorite shows. Don't screw them up.
Disney,
and, like, with the Bad Batch, I'm not hurt. Like, it doesn't break my heart to see 2 filler episodes like we have for the last 2 weeks because they're fun. And I know that it's a kid's story. I know it's made for kids, so they're not all going to be, you know what I'm saying, this just amazing story like the 3rd episode was with Crosshair. That was just amazing. It was just like, it would just had you on the edge of your seat the whole time. I didn't expect all the episodes to be like that because it is a kid show. So I'm okay with that. But you can't go in and make Mandalorian into something that it's not, or Andor something that's not. You guys already started on this trend. You need to stay on this trend. When it comes to the Mandalorian, I'm expecting good episodes. I'm expecting surprises. I'm expecting characters that we haven't got to see in a long time to pop up in these episodes, like Ahsoka, like Luke. You know, I expect that in the Mandalorian. So if they keep along that line and give me the things that they've been doing, I'm cool with the Mandalorian. And they keep to a good storyline. Andor, we already know which direction Andor is going. Andor is phenomenal. So as long as they don't mess them 2 up. And as long as they come out with a freaking movie sometime soon so I can go to the movies. Because I'm getting tired of not going to the movies.
That's it. That's all we need.
Simple requests.
Oh, and games.
Demands.
And games.
Yeah.
Don't forget about the games.
There is,
so much
if
about
you
games.
have Lego Star Wars, there is the new DLCs out for all of the new shows. They do have the new DLCs. So you can buy you can buy the new character packs and be all of your favorite characters.
I think I seen somewhere that somebody said Jedi Survivor is going to be multiplayer too. You can multiplayer it.
I have been seeing. I've seen that, and then I've seen that it's not multiplayer. So I think it might just be a rumor at the moment.
That would be dope. If Jedi Survivor comes out and it has multiple players, we could like be 3 Jedis or 3 Siths running around doing something, or
live stream a huge LAN party, live streaming it.
I'll buy a PS8 or whatever it's at now, and we can live stream us playing that shit and talking shit as we're doing it. I think that'll be fun. But I haven't played a video game, like I said, since PS2, so I don't know shit about video games. Y'all gonna have to teach me everything, because I have no idea. I am completely and utterly lost.
For Jedi Survivor. Oh,
Ubisoft
Jedi Survivor.
Ubisoft Open World.
Yep, Open World.
That's
Open
what we're
World.
looking. I'm so excited for that game.
So, and then,
I'm buying a PlayStation 5 exclusively for that game. Well, not exclusively, but the only reason I'm buying the PS5 is for that game.
And then I wanted to go. Somebody said something earlier that I wanted to comment on, and I done lost it now.
I do that too. It's okay.
I'm trying to go back to find it. I don't remember where it was at.
I mean, Infected thought or was questioning whether Wrecker's armor changed again.
I don't know. Honestly,
I didn't see any huge differences, but CJ's are Wrecker.
Damn, I forgot what it was. Fuck, I don't know.
There was Chris asked, or Chris made a comment about if they came out with a series that goes as far back as the dawn of the Jedi and show how these mechs came to be. That would be awesome.
Ooh, Dawn of the Jedi. Ooh, that would be so dope to have a like force sensitive people that didn't have lightsabers. They actually had swords and had to cut people down with that. That would be so dope. But they're not gonna do that. That would be some rated R shit. You know, you got people blood squirting out and they're chopping somebody's head off. You know, with a lightsaber, there's no. You chop somebody down with a lightsaber, there ain't no blood.
Oh, Infected Actual. That's honestly, so the whole thing about the Bad Batch being lighter in color, we talked about it a little bit on Saturday. People have been complaining, saying that they think that they're trying to whitewash the Bad Batch. So they might have, but it also might have just been an upgrade in technology that their software that they had.
Yeah, people are just looking for something to fucking complain about. That's it. And it just like really upsets me that it's like no matter what, somebody is gonna. You know, there's great. Let me phrase it like this. There's great things about the internet. Having the internet, being able to speak your mind and say things that, you know, that you care about and talk about the thing that you care about. But at some point, it's like, dude, some of this shit is just people just complaining. They're just trolling because they want attention.
Oh,
and
yeah.
it gets so frustrating because, like, dude, like, I don't even notice what color the Bad Batch is. I'm not paying attention to that. I'm watching the story. I don't give a shit none of that shit is even.
Kyle, you nitpick so much.
But I don't notice shit like they lighten the color up. Like, dude, that could be lighting. It could be the way the light is hitting them.
You could have your TV on a different setting for all you know. Like, you could have accidentally switched it to bright or something.
You're
like,
freaking.
No, I'm just laughing because Kyle, I love you and it's awesome. Like we're all team play. You're sitting over here like people just think of ways and look for ways to basically bitch. And I'm like, Kyle, you want to be the pot or the kettle here, babe?
I know I bitch about a lot of shit, but some of this shit is just stupid, man. It's like, dude, y'all looking for shit to cause issues with. People don't understand it. If you complain about something enough, you're gonna fuck it up. Because then they're gonna stop making it because they're like, dude, I'm tired of hearing this shit. You know what I'm saying? Look at some of the things, like look at what DC did. People bitch so much about DC that they just got rid of freaking everything. Like, dude, like shut the fuck up and quit bitching about shit.
Cavill, however the fuck you say his name, arguably the greatest cast you could possibly do for Superman. We bitched about it and now he's gone.
Okay, so we gotta pause the DC, like, because you gotta wait for CJ to be here because I've been hearing about it since it happened, and I need somebody else to hear CJ's rants.
God damn.
I love him, but he is the hugest DC fan, and he's just. I was like, I'm not a DC person, so I don't even know half of the rants that you're going off on right now.
The potential that DC has is just mind-boggling, but they fall short.
Like, dude, and it makes me mad because I really like The Flash. I've been watching Flash for 8 seasons, and now they're about to just end The Flash. Like, why are you ending The Flash? The Flash was a great TV show. My wife even liked it. She would watch it with me. And my son, we'd all sit down and watch it, and The Flash was just good. It was just a good story. It was fun. And now they're getting rid of The Flash. They got rid of Aquaman. They canceled Wonder Woman, and the shit was done. They already filmed the whole thing, and they canceled it. Like, dude, I kind of liked 84. You know, people bitch so much that they're gonna bitch till Disney just says, we're not doing Star Wars no more. We're getting rid of this shit. Sell it off to somebody or do something. Because people are bitching about everything. Like, dude, if you can find something negative about every single show that comes out, they're gonna be like, frick, they don't want to hear that shit. And you're bitching about shit that is like Garrison said, you can literally forget to hit the button on your damn TV and it's darker, so they darken them up. Oh, they lighten them up and you got it on vivid. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, that's stupid. Like, dude, they're not trying to change the clones to white. We all know who the clones are. And how you gonna tell with Hunter? One whole side of his face is a tattoo. Like, dude, shut up, man. Like, that don't even make sense. Like, why would they lighten up the Bad Batch but then add Wanda Sykes to the crew, to the cast? Like, if they're trying to be racist, they're not gonna add Wanda Sykes to the cast. You know what I'm saying? They're not. They could hire anybody and just let you bitch about it. Like, I know sometimes they do that shit just to be fan service, just to, you know what I'm saying, make people happy. But some of this shit is you're just looking for shit to bitch about. And it's just stupid. It's just a waste of time. And sooner or later, when the shit is gone, then you're going to be mad. It's like, when, you know what I'm saying, somebody gets something and somebody or something happens and somebody bitches about it so much that it goes away, and then they pissed off that they don't have it no more. You the one that didn't want it. You bitched about everything. It's like some things are just not worth, like camera shaking Kenobi, that's worth bitching about because it was freaking annoying as shit. You're just camera shaking while they're talking. Why is the camera shaking? And there ain't no action happening. Ain't nothing happening for the camera to be shaking, but the camera's just shaking. That's something to bitch about.
There's valid things to bitch about, but when you're trying to bitch, like, come on, like, don't look for reasons to bitch just because you want to bitch.
If you just wake up and you're like, you know what is on my list of things to ruin today for people? Like, let's not be that kind of people.
If you sat back,
I'm guilty. I shouldn't be saying shit.
You are Garrison. My pot or kettle comment was going to both you and Kyle here.
I'm guilty.
Thing.
Kyle is usually valid. I'm very guilty.
This is the thing. If you wake up in the morning and your whole object is to just bitch about something and you don't ever have anything good to say about anything, dude, you're just a troll. You need to look at yourself in the mirror and say, I'm just a troll. I need to either stop doing what I'm doing or, you know what I'm saying, just whatever. Because, dude, if you ain't ever got nothing positive to say, nobody's going to like everything. And I never tell anybody to like everything because there's things that I dislike. But, just to sit there and bitch about everything, dude, do something with your life. Like, get a life. Do something. Because you're making the sugar shit. That's all you're doing.
If my mama told me she didn't have nothing nice to say, you better not say nothing at all.
I mean,
on a positive note, I kind of like today's episode.
Yeah, it was fun. I'm
fun.
enjoying the Bad Batch. I really am. I'm enjoying it. We got some good episodes. We got some fun episodes. Like, there's nothing that's been truly completely disappointed me yet. Like, I know Garrison will disagree with that because he's disappointed with this episode, but I thought it was fun. It was just a fun kid episode. It made me feel like a kid, and I like that.
Garrison's just the Debbie Downer of the group right now.
Garrison don't like cartoons to begin with.
Dude, I'm sorry. It's hard to get me to like a cartoon in the first place. Like,
that's how I was.
Big ask.
The reason how CJ got me into watching Clone Wars, because I was not about watching Clone Wars, and he finally was like, it was the last project that George worked on. You have to watch it. And I was like, fine. I'll do it. Fine.
Exactly.
I'll do it. And I'll sit through it. And he's like, okay, listen, the first 3 seasons are hard to sit through. Like, it is, like, it's one of the things
terrible.
that you put on as background noise. And then it gets into like, he's like, but there's the Maul arc. And I was like, Maul arc, you
Still
say?
don't care.
Maul has an arc in this show. And he's like, yes.
Dude,
I
don't
like,
even like I just don't like cartoons. Like, Clone Wars wasn't even like awesome for me. And there's stories in there that I'm like, yeah, that's dope. But like the vehicle with which that story was delivered to me is just not my cup of tea, you know?
And see, I'm like the exact
That's actually fair, Chris. Invincible was a flippin' awesome series.
You know, that's something that, like, I'm exact opposite on that. I love the cartoons. Like, I'm a big kid. I love the cartoons. Like, the first 3 seasons weren't bad to me. I enjoyed them, and especially because when they came out, you got to remember this was years and years ago. I was watching them with, you know what I'm saying, my kids, and I'm sitting there watching them, and I was excited for the next week to come.
I didn't have a huge problem with the first 3 seasons. It was, my issue came from where I was watching like bits of one episode and bits of another one in like passing of it being on some sort of screen, and I was like, yeah, that seems like 100% something I'm not into. And you know, it's, oh, you're a Star Wars fan, you need to watch it. Like, no, I don't have to watch absolutely everything. Am I going to? More than likely, but I have to work myself up to watching it. But that's, and he's like, okay, listen, season 1 through 3. And I've watched season 1 through 3, and it's not overly terrible. Like, I enjoyed them. Some episodes more than others, but my Night Sisters, I'm super about. Anything with Night Sisters, I'm sold.
So Star Wars team leader said, bad storm here. My weather alarm just went off on my phone, so my internet may drop soon. I'll be here as long as I can.
Well,
where you stay at again, Star Wars team leader? I forgot.
Hopefully you'll like stay safe.
Yeah. Well, they said a big storm was going here. They canceled school and everything, and then shit, by this afternoon, all the snow was melted.
Well,
like,
yeah, that's here in Boise. I think that there was supposed to be like 4 or 5 feet that was dropped, and there wasn't really anything. So I don't know. Maybe they were just off in a day, or
you know what gets me? I'm gonna tell you the truth. What gets me? Like the farmer's almanac is like right every year. Like every year, it's like 100% right on everything, and they don't ever use that shit. Like, why aren't you reading this shit? I don't know who the hell's been writing this shit for 1,000 years. But whoever they are, they smart as shit. Because they just be knowing what we're going to have good crops, we're going to have bad crops. We're going to have good weather, we're going to have bad. And they always know. So whoever the people is that's writing this shit is awesome. You know what I'm saying? So they need to figure out them people and get them people on the news, because the people on the news don't know shit. Says Garrison watching Invincible on Prime. Invincible?
Yeah, Invincible.
Have you watched it?
Yeah.
I never even heard of it.
No, I responded to him. I was like,
he did. That's fair. He was into it.
It was actually a great show.
Team leader is in Virginia. VA is Virginia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's on the East Coast.
And J-Dog, I really hope that Night Sisters get their own, like, it'll have to be like a sub show. Like, they only get like a season or 2, because there is a whole lot to the Night Sisters, but there really isn't. It would have to be them making history of the Night Sisters, kind of, to a point, unless they want to go off of books and legends and all of that. But I'd be into it.
Ooh. So it's still dry here in southern Washington. And Chris says it's supposed to be minus 13 to 38 wind chill here.
So not excited for that. I'm not excited for you. It's fine.
Oh yeah. I think tomorrow our like high is like 20, but they're like almost all the snow is already melted. Maybe in the Tales of the Sith throw in an episode. Dude, I would just, when it comes to the Night Sisters is just, I don't know, the Night Sisters, like I can see, because it flows more into like Sith alchemy and Sith sorcery and stuff like that. So I could see them getting their own episodes, or at least they could do a spin-off of the Night Sisters that would be kind of dope. Because like, if you read some of the stories that have to do with the Night Sisters, like there was good Night Sisters. There was like another sect that was good. And the Night Sisters kind of broke off from that sect and turned evil. And to see that happen, like, that would be dope. Or even see like the Jedi and the Sith. Because back at one point, the Jedi and the Sith all lived on the same planet. You know what I'm saying? So they were all like back there, like in I think the second episode or the second book of the Dawn of the Jedi. There's another book. I can't remember the name of it. I have to look it up. But there's another book, and they talk about when the Sith come, and it's like, dude, they were cool, you know what I'm saying? But then everything got bad. And if you go back to some of the other books, they were all on one planet at one time, like dark side users and light side users. They all just used the Force, and then one day something happened, and it went to shit. All right, guys. Yeah, I need to get off of here. I know we all need to get off here. I need to go eat.
Me too.
Dude, I could eat
I haven't
right
ate
now.
nothing yet today. So,
Addison's cooking, and it smells delicious. So I'm excited.
So we will see you guys on Saturday. And you guys kind of already got an idea of what the episode is going to be. So you guys can make sure you guys do your research. And let's try to find out what we can figure out about this. And then come up with a good idea of what's going to happen in The Mandalorian. What's behind those doors? Who really is Grogu? Let's see if we can find out some information about this.
He's a
So we'll
green
see you
frog.
guys Saturday.
Predictions
Peace.
about what we think.
May the Force be with you and stay outrageous.
Peace.
Thank you for tuning in to LSR. If you've enjoyed the show, consider subscribing so you can be notified when new episodes are released. If you would like to be a guest on the show or just want to give us some feedback, feel free to email us. You can also reach out to us on all major social media platforms. LightSaber Radio is produced by PicFilm Media and is a Swaycast original, starring Garrison Turcotte, CJ Elliott, and Kyle McDaniel. And don't forget to join us next time for more adventures in a galaxy far, far away.